Well, I had a wild experience yesterday that I want to tell you about, and it'll be brief, but it was wild. What? It was a vision quest of sorts. So Friday night, I couldn't sleep. Nothing new about that. I finally went to bed about 1 and woke up at 5 and was immediately angry about that because I was exhausted, mentally exhausted from life. And I couldn't sleep, and I got really angry. And I got up and started crashing around the house. Well, Allison gets up early every morning. She's sitting there drinking her coffee and doing her little thing, and I'm bulling the china shop, doing my thing and pacing and whatever. And she's like, "I'm trying to have my quiet time." And I was like, "Fine, I'm leaving." She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I don't know." This is 5:15 in the morning now by this time. So I left. I got in my car and started driving. I had no idea where I was going. I found myself, well, I didn't. I found myself at G Creek Campground. And I thought, I'm just going to go climb that mountain in the middle of the night. Well, for me, it's the middle of the night. For you, it'd be morning. I'm not an early person at all. So this was already weird for me to be awake at this time of day. 5 in the morning is crazy. It's insane. I'm still angry and just irritated and beside myself. I was like, I'm gonna go climb that mountain. And so I drive out there, and it's been a number of years since I've been up there, and so it's pitch black. Now it's 5:30 in the morning probably. Pitch black, and I'm driving down that gravel road, bumpy road. I'm like, where is the trailhead? I can't. And I'm driving, and I think maybe I passed it. So I try to do, one of those 3-point turns in the road. So I go and back and go, and all of a sudden, boom, the front of my car drops into a hole. And I'm sitting there in my car looking at the river in front of me. And I say, no problem. I got 4-wheel drive. Put it in reverse, hit the gas, nothing. Did not budge. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's pitch black. You know how you do when you get in trouble, you immediately start running the scenarios. Okay, who do I call? I'll call so-and-so, I'll get a tow, I'll get somebody to pull me out, I'll blah, 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 all the things I could do. All right, and I'll reach for my phone, and I don't have my phone. My phone's at home. So then I run the other scenarios. How far do I have to walk? Do I just knock on somebody's door and use their phone? It's 5:30 in the morning. Yes, I'm perpendicular to the road. Oh yeah. Which luckily there was not a soul out there. Yeah, so my front tires are hooked over in a muddy ditch and won't budge. And, I'm not one of those guys that talks a lot about, well, the Lord said this to me, and God told me this, and God told me that. It's not that doesn't happen to me occasionally, but I'm reluctant to talk like that because I feel presumptuous. You know what I mean? It's just like... So, and honestly, it doesn't happen that often. There are very few times in my life where I could say, God told me, in the moment what to do. Probably because of the way I was raised. My dad was like, you know what to do. He didn't give me a lot of step-by-step stuff. He was just like, you know what to do it. He used to say, do whatever you're big enough to. So I'm sitting there. Oh, and I left this part out. When I tried to reverse, and that didn't work, I thought, no problem. I've got a differential lock on my 4-wheel drive, which just means Normally in your car, it's one side or the other is pulling, not both. But if you lock your diff, they both pull at the same time like a tractor. So I was no problem. Lock the diff, hit the gas, nothing. All 4 tires are just spinning in the mud. So I'm sitting there thinking about what I'm going to do. I'm all alone, no phone, pitch black, middle of nowhere, angry about everything. And I will say with much caution, God spoke to me. And he said, go forward. I'm looking at the river. I can barely see it because it's pitch black, but I could see kind of little shimmers of the river in front of me, and it's a big drop off in the river in front of me. He says, "Go forward." The differential's still locked. I put it in drive, and I stomped the accelerator, and I lurched forward. And now I was like this. I hit the gas. Now I'm like this. And I put that sucker in reverse, and I punched it. And I went, whoop, whoop, whoop. I thought, well, now I've torn the radiator out of my car probably, and there's going to be fluid all over the road, and my engine's going to overheat. That didn't happen. Now I'm in the road, and I do my turnaround. I'm like, I'm out here. This is ridiculous. Absolutely stupid. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, no phone, pitch black. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where the trailhead is. Why do I even want to go up there? It's a very difficult hike. I'm just going to go home. Go forward. I kept hearing, go forward. Okay, I'm going to go forward. I don't know if I'm going to make it up there because it seems like it's not in the cards. But for now, I'm going to go forward. I'm just going to go forward right now and see what happens. So I went forward, which was away from home. It's still pitch black. Now it's 5:45 in the morning. I find what I think is the trailhead. I pull off, look at the bottom of the car, no fluids coming out, so I'm, okay, well, that's good. I get my little flashlight, and I start heading up the trail. Very difficult. I mean, this trail is like this. It's wherever you're standing, and if you're going to go up the trail, if you reach your hand out, you're touching where you're about to be standing. It's that crazy. So I start climbing, and I get up there, and I lose the trail. I'm like, I don't know. It's up on Laurel Bluff, the bluffs above the Hiwassee River. Oh, I don't know, maybe. So I can't find the trail. I found it to a certain point, and then I lost it. I'm like, I can't. So I go back and sit in my car. I'm just going to go home. This is stupid. Go forward. Okay, I'm going to sit here and wait until there's enough sunlight where I can try again and see where the heck I am. So I sit there, and I sit there, and I sit there. Again, I'm not alive at this time of day, ever. So I don't know what time the sun comes up. Well, it turns out it comes up at about 6:55, because I sat there until that time. I started to see the sky light up just a little bit, and it got just bright enough where I thought maybe I could see the trail. So I get out of my car, and I begin the hike again. I get up to the point where I'd gotten before. Go forward. And I found the trail. And I start climbing. And it's difficult, and I'm old. I'm just laboring up this. You got to climb up boulders and grab trees, and if you let go, you're going to fall down the chasm. So I make my way, and I make my way, and I make my way, and it's getting a little bit brighter. It's starting to turn into a morning, and I'm just gassed. So I sit down on this rock. I'm sitting on a rock, and I'm looking at a rock face in front of me. I'm not even facing the river. The river's behind me. The mountain falls off. And I'm sitting here on a rock, looking at a rock. huffing and puffing, catch my breath. I'm like, man, I'm out here without a phone. Nobody, no human being on this planet knows where I am right now. I didn't tell Allison. I didn't know where I was going. But here I am out in the wilderness, alone, no phone. Okay, go forward. So I'm sitting there, and I thought, man, there's nobody out here. Nobody is out here but me. And I see a flicker off my right side, and there's a campfire. Somebody had just started. It's pretty far away, but I could see it. Okay, and that happened to be the direction that the trail went. So I caught my breath, and I started trekking that direction. I don't know who these people are. They could be some kind of serial killers, or who knows what I'm going to come up on. And they're not expecting me. Are they going to be jumped and weirded out? Are they armed? I don't know. I am. So I cautiously approach, go on the trail, and I see a guy, and he sees me. He was not expecting me. I see a guy, and he's cooking breakfast. I'm like, how you doing? I just kept walking. Then I saw another guy. How you doing? Good morning. Kept going up the trail, and I found the overlook there. That's a flat rock where you can just sit there and see for miles. You can see the other mountain. You can see the river down below, very far below. And I sit there, and I start thinking about what we've been studying in Revelation. And the theme of Revelation, there's several themes, but a very important theme of Revelation is faithful witness. Faithful witness. I thought, faithful witness. I know what people mean when they say, oh, I'm going to go witness to this guy or witness to these people or whatever. Okay. Well, there's these guys behind me. How can I be a faithful witness? It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. They don't want to be bothered. I don't want to bother them. By this time, I know they're harmless. Just caught the vibe, that they were just dudes out there enjoying nature. I don't want to horn in on their morning or what they're doing or whatever and go be that guy that, hey, how you doing? Gonna go forward. Go forward. Okay? Okay, I'm gonna do it. So I get up off the rock, head back down the trail toward civilization. I get to these guys again, and I'm like, did you guys get any sleep? Because I saw their sleeping bags, just sleeping bags, no mattresses, no mats, on rocks. I was like, did you guys sleep on the rocks? Yes, sir. Did you get any sleep? And I said, are you guys friends of Jesus? And the guy goes, yeah. He was not expecting that, nor was I. And so we're just standing there looking at each other. And now the guys are together and they're around their little campfire and they're cooking their little ramen noodles or whatever. And I said, can I sit down? Yeah. So I sit down and we start talking. These guys are Mennonite, about early 20s. They're brothers, Nathan and Mark. And they were just out there sleeping, and they had climbing gear. And I noticed a rope hanging from way high, probably as high as this ceiling. There's a rock face that goes up, and then at the very top, it does like this, like a roof, and then up over the top. And the rope was coming over the top and down. And they had been out there climbing, and we talked and we talked and we talked. We talked about their community. We talked about our community. I told them about our community and what we do. And they were so respectful, so kind, and just hail fellows well met. Just salt of the earth guys, very humble. And as we're talking, they were very curious about my life for some reason. And I was pretty curious about theirs as well. And we kind of just talked about how our lives go and what we do and what our world is like. And they would say a couple of times, Nathan would say, and they have that kind of Mennonite accent. And he would say, this is just the way we do Christianity. It's not like you have to do, not everyone has to do this. And I was like, well, that's what I believe. Like, we do things the way we do it, but it's not the only way. And it was healing. It was just love these guys. And they were so innocent and precious, and we talked for at least 2 hours. And we talked about everything under the sun. We talked about technology, we talked about AI, we talked about passivism, which they are pacifists. And because he said, when AI comes, we'll be the first to go because we don't fight. I said, well, I do. So, and we talked through all that stuff, very respectful. They were just precious guys that love the Lord. And we talked, and they said, well, you want to see us climb? Yeah, sure. So they geared up, and they look like hobbits. I mean, their feet were absolutely filthy, and their hands were filthy. They had walked in, because I was like, where's you guys' car? Wasn't thinking, well, you're Mennonite. Of course you don't have a car. I was like, where did you guys park? I didn't see any cars on the road. Oh, we walked in. From where? Well, from the community. Yeah. They'd walked in the day before like it's nothing. Oh, yeah, we walked in. I said, barefooted? Yeah. Okay, whatever. No, that's for animals and hobbits. Your bare feet are not meant to touch the ground. But so they suit up in their 5-point harnesses and whatever. And like I said, this rock face was as tall as the ceiling. And at the top, it does like this. And they start climbing this thing. And so one brother, they had the rope, and one brother would belay. He would stand at the bottom, and he had the rope through his carabiner. Just as a safety, he wasn't helping the guy up at all, but just in case he fell, you could stop him, So the one brother monkeys up the face of that rock and climbs upside down and up over the top like that. I'm like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. And then he gets to the top and he goes, okay, I'm coming down. And he just falls backwards, and his brother catches him and lets him down. He's coming down like a spider. And then they switched roles, and the other brother went and did the exact same thing, just like a monkey up the side of that rock. And by the way, there's no punchline to the story, so it's just a story. Just a wild experience. But they came down, and I was like, by this time it's 10 o'clock in the morning, so I've been out here for hours. And I was like, well, guys, I'm going to motor, and it was great meeting you. And we had a really awkward couple of hugs. I don't think they hug. And I left them back there. I said, we will probably never see each other again on this earth. But in that couple of or 3 hours, we had a real connection. And it was beautiful. And I hiked back down to my car and drove home. And that's the end of the story. But it was just a wild thing, something completely out of my wheelhouse that I never do. I never get up at that time, for one thing, and all the wild stuff that happened. But it was a bit like a vision quest, Allison noted. And it really changed my attitude. The anger was gone. And now I'm physically exhausted, but mentally renewed. And it was just a beautiful thing. And then I had to apologize to my wife for leaving the house, not telling her where I would go or taking my phone. And she was, of course, worried. But I didn't plan any of it. I didn't plan any of it. I was just going forward, one step at a time. So I guess if there's a moral to this story, it's go forward.